Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Peace has returned to Rivers State. I'm really thinking more of the resumption of the governor. The governor is back in place, his deputy, and all the legislators. And so today we're looking at, well, Rivers, Fubara, Wike, they actually to meet to strengthen the reconciliation. We've heard that everything is good, no problems anymore. But so let's just talk about this, because I was just hearing that some of the pictures, a lot of the pictures that came out on that event, there were only, well, it seemed there was a preponderance of people that were representing or thought to represent only one of the how should I put it now? Principles. Let me just use that. You know, principles. Only one. Only a few of them. So we'll look at that now and see how much that matters, and also check up on the whole reconciliation process. In studio here with me is Mr. Somi Uranta. Mr. Somi Uranta is an author and also a political affairs analyst. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming.
Good morning to you, sir.
I appreciate your coming. And also in our Abuja studio, we have Chief Okoye Obono Obla. He's a lawyer and a public affairs analyst. So, Chief Okoye, good morning to you too.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Indeed. The pleasure is all ours. Let me start in the studio here. And just as our caption says, Fubara, Wike meet to strengthen, and Rivers elders. Fubara, Wike, and Rivers elders meet to strengthen reconciliation. Tell me your concept of this. Is it really necessary? Seeing as Fubara has said, and I think also Wike has said, that all of that's in the past. We're good now. But are the elders still concerned, do you think? That is why we're saying that you know, Fubara, Wike, and Rivers elders meet to strengthen the reconciliation. Yeah,
like you rightly stated, it is about strengthening the reconciliation. Mm-hmm. You see, when you have a peace accord, I mean, it could be, if you are not careful, it could be derailed. So this strengthening, when they meet to strengthen, helps to keep them on track, keep the peace agreement on track. And I think that is what Rivers State needs at this juncture, because we cannot afford to have our states, you know, fall back to the evil days of emergency rule, because that was a blight on our democracy and on the governance system of Rivers State. Well,
you call it the evil days, necessary days, unfortunately.
Well, let's not go into all that, because we have different views
and interpretations
of it. So it is important that they keep meeting to reinstate, to reinforce and strengthen this peace, because that is the only atmosphere that development for the Rivers people can be assured.
Okay, all right. Okay, to start off. Now, Chief Okoye, coming to you, this meeting that we are hearing elders joining the principals, Fubara and Wike, for a meeting, tell us about the necessity, why you think that is necessary, since we've been assured by both parties that everything is good now.
Well, that is what they would have done maybe 2 years or 2.5 years ago, before everything escalated and you know, led to the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. If you look at the history of Nigeria, we have had instances about something years ago in Western Nigeria, which is now Southwest geopolitical zone. There was this crisis in the Action Group Party between Chief Obafemi Awolowo, SAN, may his soul rest in peace, and Chief Ladoke Akintola, who was the premier of Western Nigeria, and the deputy leader of Action Group. And Chief Obafemi Awolowo was the leader of the opposition, in Nigeria, and the leader of Action Group.
Action Group,
and,
AG.
And there was a disagreement between them, and which led to the party, dividing itself into two factions. So, and then they couldn't agree, they couldn't discuss, they couldn't make peace, and it led to a fight in the Western Nigeria House of Assembly in Ibadan between the legislators who were divided along Chief Obafemi Awolowo faction, Chief Akintola faction. And there was a fight, and the federal government had to come in to declare a state of emergency in Western Nigeria and appointed a sole administrator. So when some people say, oh, it was wrong for the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to suspend the governor, suspend the Rivers State House of Assembly, and declare a state of emergency, they were not mindful of that this thing has happened in Nigeria in about 60-something years ago. And because it was not well managed, it caused a lot of crisis in Western Nigeria. And so the scholars are saying that the coup of 15 January 1966, one of the remote causes of that coup was the crisis in Western Nigeria, and that coup led to, a civil war in Nigeria from 1967 to 1970. So their president has to be decisive, and he did that, he demonstrated that. And now the elders are talking. That is what they would have done, because it's a political dispute. It requires political solution for the parties to come together to discuss and iron out what was the cause of the disagreement amongst them. The elders of Rivers State would have done that before now, but since they are doing it now, it's fine, it's good, and it should be encouraged. Okay. Because everything all about, we can judge not war. So because the judge is a good thing. We had Second World War, we had First World War, and we had all sort of wars, globally. And we have seen that, guns and fighting will never solve any problem. It is when people talk, they will be able to solve any problem that is confronting mankind. Mm-hmm. We have seen the Palestinian issue, Israeli-Palestinian issue, because they refuse to talk. From 1948 to present, there have been that crisis in the Middle East between the Palestinian people and the Israelis. So talking is good. It is the best way to resolve political issues. And every politician who doesn't know how to talk, who doesn't know how to settle, a disagreement, then it's not a politician. Okay. Because politics is the act of management of people. Mm. Okay, you know the behavior of people, the attitude of people, and then you are able to manage them, so that there will be peace in society or community.
Okay, all right then. If I were to come back to you, Mr. Uranta, as we're just hearing from Chief Okoye now, he says, well, that is what the elders, in Rivers might have done much earlier, and perhaps even have prevented that axe from falling. But now that we've heard from both parties, so as not to wallow too much in the past, now that we've heard from both parties, even separately and severally, that everything is in order again, they say that the words of our elders are words of wisdom. If Rivers elders now feel it is necessary to meet, it's probably because they're looking at human nature and know that, look, it's okay to say one thing, so it looks like that on the outside, but we now have to make sure that it is thorough and real. There's a way in which, of course, a smile can cover so much. Do you think that might be the motivation? Because these elders, they're very, very familiar with Wike, they're very, very familiar with Fubara. They're very. What do you think is going on in there?
I think what the essence of this whole thing is to ensure that there is continuity. There is
because time has been lost.
Yes, yeah, of course. Which of course, Rivers people will have to make demands that will get our 6 months back. But that's for another day, you know. But the thing is that the elders meeting and stakeholders meeting to ensure that they strengthen this peace agreement is necessary. To the extent that we don't want anything that will happen to derail this peace move, you know. There are a few people who are saying that, like you stated in your intro, that there seem to be more of the people, you know, on one party, you know, predominantly in that gathering, and the other guy, the other party, the other principal is having, I mean, it's like a solo person. But what I would tell people is that the governor is a very meticulous person. He's not even the talking type that much. So, and he knows what he's doing. If he, at the eye of the storm, or in the eye of the storm, could afford to present himself and let's go, because they are all brothers and sisters. Everybody in River State, there are no enemies. And, you know, it was Napoleon Bonaparte, after a certain war with the Russians, you know, Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. You know, when after the war, of course, the French won. So, in the morning, he came around, he was moving around the battlefield, you know, trying to appraise what happened. And they heard the cry of a soldier somewhere within the area, this vicinity. And his aides ran and he got information that it's a Russian. Let's finish him at once. He said, no, don't do that. Say, after war, what is left is humanity.
Okay.
After the war,
okay.
We are brothers, we are Rivers people. Every Rivers person must be concerned about the growth and development of the state. And this governor, the FCT minister, Mr. Barrister Wike, chose to support the governor because he saw the value in the governor, that he could actually, and the man is doing the job. You know, he took from Melford, you know, Melford Okilo. He brought the decentralization policy, you know, into the state, whereby every local government, every part of the state is being developed all at once. So these are jobs, you know, jobs to give, you know, people focus or people centered leadership to the state. So if he can afford to attend those meetings on his own, I'm sure nobody is going to eat him up. I'm sure, you know, it was the 42nd president of the USA, Mr. Bill Clinton, who said that no matter, they said the most expensive peace is still better than the cheapest war. So the governor is making sacrifices, like he has stated severally, that whatever it will take to ensure that there is peace in the state, that he's ready to go for it. And he's not joking about it. So I urge Rivers people, Riverians, to please, let us all, from both parties, let us all give peace a chance, because that is the only atmosphere where development and dividend of democracy could reach the people of Rivers State.
You know, yes. Coming back to you, Chief Okoye, you know, there will have to be give and take in this matter, because so many things, if you go back to the beginning of this matter, there were things that one party wanted, there were things that the other party felt, you know, you couldn't give as easily as all of that. Surely there's going to have to be some compromises now. The governor is back. He has, you know, he has paid his dues, you know, as it relates to this whole crisis. He's back. We've seen that there's a good relationship going by the photo opportunities that have been had. But there still is a bit more work to do, especially as the elders are getting up. Because the elders are getting up is why I am speculating like this, that there probably will be some give and take. Things that weren't acceptable that led to the crisis. And now, do you think there will be a sort of revisiting of those things so that it's not a winner-take-all kind of a situation that we always say in our politics is never always favorable?
Well, when you want to reconcile disagreements, or you want to mediate in a disagreement, one of the things that all the parties must be ready to do is to open up their minds and ready to concede one way or the other. I think it is not a sign of weakness to concede. You know, if you were asking for 5 vehicles and your opponent is asking for 5 vehicles, you can concede by saying, okay, I will take 2, you take 3 in the interest of peace. I think there's something wrong with that. It's not a sign of weakness. So it is noble for somebody to make concession. I mean, that's what democracy is all about: constructive dialogue, reconciliation, concession. Yes, I was the co-secretary of the Joint Inter-Party Media Committee that negotiated the formation of APC among the 3 legacy parties: ACN, CPC, and AMPP, and the factions of ABGA and DPP. We made a lot of concessions here and there for us to have APC. Well, a lot of people they don't know all what we did. You know, to hammer, to clobber together people from different political philosophy, different political backgrounds, different ethnicities, and all that. You know, all sections of the country, because it's the first time politicians were coming together to have a discussion and agree to form a broad-based national progressive party. And that is what I saw the formation of APC 2013. So any politician who is not ready to make concessions, you know, is not a politician. And as I said, this is what the Governor Fubara, what he should have done. You know, several months ago, I had written something saying that he should make concession. He should agree because he is more at the receiving end that people he was in disagreement with. Okay. So I believe both parties have to, concede. They cannot
have an open mind,
hold tight tenaciously to their positions that led to this crisis degenerating into a state of emergency. You know, the president, in his wisdom, tried to intervene to reconcile the parties and say, look, this thing will not be solved legally, because you cannot solve a political issue or political question legally.
Okay.
You know, law is one-sided. It's winner take all. If the court make a pronouncement that you are the winner of the case, then that's all.
Yeah. The
other party will be completely excluded.
One moment, please. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. A caller came in. Good morning, Mr. George in Ikeja.
Yes. Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, and good morning to the guest.
Yes.
Thank you. Uncle Yeri, with due respect to all concerned, there are no elders in River State. What we saw during that crisis was that it was even the elders that were instigating the crisis. We saw what elders do when something happened in Lagos recently. There was this crisis in the Lagos State House of Assembly between the speaker and the members. And we saw how elders stepped in, got together, called them together, and talked to them. Today, they are working together again. But in the case of Rivers, for months, we saw the so-called elders instigating the crisis. As soon as the governor was sworn in, then the judge leaders came out and started telling him, Wike, it's our turn. Let's do it like this and forget about him. That was where the trouble started.
Yeah, but those were, sorry, sir, but that was in those days. But now, they have used a steam iron, and there is not a crease to be seen anywhere, so to speak, if you get my figurative way of expressing it.
But you see, there's always a starting point in anything. And change is the most difficult thing when somebody is already 18 years old. if the elders are coming in now, there is nothing wrong in that if they have a sincerity of purpose.
Of course.
But I would personally advise that the governor should try to lead, to become himself in all these things. I see him running a second term if what I'm seeing now in his demeanor is, sustained. Let him maintain a cordial relationship with Wike, because politics in this part of the world, you won't have a godfather. Otherwise, you won't get there. You won't get anywhere. You can't get there and then just deny that it doesn't exist anymore. So let him play the game in the way it should be done.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in some compromises here and there, for as long as it's all in the interest of the people. And then governors will continue in River State, as we have been seeing it during the tenure of Wike. That's what I want to say. The elders should be put in the secondary place where they belong.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. I'm going to ask both my guests if they see eye to eye with you on that particular point. Specifically, there are no elders in River State.
That's the wrong thing to say.
Because if they were, the idea continues. He didn't say it, but it follows. If there were, then we wouldn't have got to the extent that we got to. Better judgment and sense would have prevailed.
Yes. You see, without us going back to all that, but it is wrong for him to say that there are no elders. Because if you say there are no elders, you are putting down a whole state, The truth is that when people are all, both parties are all in the trenches, they hardly listen to advice. And when somebody has power, has influence, when they are telling you, do this, you will not even listen. So it might be that the elders may have done the best they could at that point in time, but the parties involved were not ready to listen. But we have gone past that stage. Let's not go to the point of saying there are no elders in River State. You cannot say that about River State. There are people. What happened was that the state kind of got polarized.
Okay.
Some elders were for this, some others were for that. So now that they have come together, all I'm saying is that let the both parties, especially the Minister Wike's camp, and that of also the governor, let them, everyone should see their support, both their supporters and everything, so that we can have peace. Because sometimes the people are the principals could be trying to make effort to maintain, so that to ensure that there is no derailment. But if the people, the supporters, the supporting club, begin to go wild, start making some frivolous statements, it could stir issues.
Okay.
So let's try.
And that's the last thing we want.
We don't need that.
We're making progress.
Yes.
Chief Okoye, how about that whole matter of the tripod here? We have Governor Fubara, we have Minister Wike, and then we have Rivers elders. But, that caller just said there are no elders in River State. Give me your take on this whole matter.
Well, I don't subscribe to that perspective because it will be unfair to make that kind of sweeping statement. When this crisis started, tempers were, on the riot.
Yes.
Tempers were high, and sometimes when tempers are high, it will be very near impossible to reconcile warring parties. And that is why I agree with the state of emergency that was imposed. The essence of the state of emergency was for all the parties to the conflict to simmer down, to calm down, to relax, and it has worked perfectly. The 6 months was a time for all of them to ponder, to reflect, to ruminate on the way forward for River State of Nigeria. And now, after the emergency was lifted, they have realized that it will be in the best interest of all of them, the Governor Fubara, Barrister Wike, and the elders, and the entire people of Rivers State as a whole, collectively, to agree, to discuss, to reconcile, to make concession, to move their state forward. I think that is perfect. And also, people who were trying to read politics, too much politics, into the emergency, I think they must have seen that they were wrong. Okay, because if there was no emergency, I believe the thing would have generated to a crisis. You know, the House of Assembly was on the verge of impeaching the governor. And the governor just had just about 4 members of the House. So he stood no chance. So the president came in, you know, and saw that, look, that crisis will snowball into something bigger. Just like what happened in Western Nigeria in 1962. That crisis in Western Nigeria snowballed to a crisis that eventually led to the military taking over power on the 15th of January 1966. And then after the military took over power, there was crisis in the country. And then it generated to a civil war, you know, that set the country back so many years. From 1967 to 1970, there was a civil war. You know, so that is it.
I get you.
It was good to allow, you know, all the parties to calm down. And now that is the best period. Now there's no pressure on anybody. They have seen that fighting will lead them to nowhere, that they will suffer from fighting, continual fighting. I think they will sit down. The elders are there. The governor is an elder by virtue of the fact he's the governor. The former governor, Barrister Wike, is an elder. And all the other elders, traditional rulers, and everybody are saying that they should sit down and talk and agree on the way forward for the state of Nigeria.
Okay, sir. Let me bring on this viewer, Gabriel. Mr. Gabriel is calling in from Minna. Good morning, sir.
Hello, Uncle. Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, we thank God that the Rivers issue is resolved. And we want progress in Rivers State because Rivers State is so dear to this country. So we thank God for the president that has sworn in, and then book up to paying the two people. But you know, initially the people were pushing like Mr. George said. No, it's not that Mr. George said there's no elder in George. There's no elder in Rivers. It's because you make proverbs say Agbaki wa loja kore mo fito. You understand?
Yes.
And what you are saying is when we were there, when Wike was making this man, Wike single-handedly brought him from nowhere to be a governor.
Well, that does happen, but all of that is in the past, Gabriel.
Yes.
All of that is in the past now because we start.
But sir, we just thank God that we want the progress now. As the two of them have met, and the other came in now to strengthen their relationship. I think it's highly commendable and welcome.
Commendable.
So they should please see that they guided their utterances both for the supporter of Wike and the supporter of Fubara. Because the best thing for us now, we want progress. We want progress. River is one of our greatest economic states. So we don't want problem. We don't want any issue to intervene with the people of Rivers and our business, Nigerian business. So please, we really appreciate the elders now.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in. And to that point about Fubara, about Governor Fubara coming from nowhere, no, I didn't want to disturb or interrupt him, but he can't have been coming from nowhere because Wike,
a man from nowhere,
he was very close with him. Yes, something happened, but Wike was close with him, so he didn't come from nowhere. But I get the sense
and
in
his
which
record of performance in office. I'm a Rivers man.
In civil service.
Yes, even in office as a governor, attests to the fact that he didn't come from nowhere.
Okay, I got to go on a break now. We'll come back and talk a bit more about it if you want. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks, and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. State category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
Okay, welcome back. We've got 2 elders here. Mr. Samuel Uranta is an author and political affairs analyst, and we also have Chief Okoye Obono Obla, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Well, then we have on the line Reverend Dominic. Good morning to you, Reverend.
Good morning, Chief Yori. Good morning to your guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
please. Can you
please.
hear me? Can I go on?
Yes, please. We can hear you well.
Yori, I am so pleased by Mr. President for announcing that, state of emergency in River State. To be frank, the first time early this year when it happened, I was not happy. But when I see the end result, I'm very glad. And if anything happens again, I will take that action. But Yori, that being said, I want to give you a short story in 1 second. Yori, when I wanted to marry as a young man, my mother gave me an advice. She said, Dominic, when you want to marry, don't marry a woman who does not talk. Marry a woman who talks. Because a woman who does not talk like a timing bomb. I want to answer your guest in the studio.
Okay.
The governor of River State doesn't talk. It's not the best woman, the governor. A governor must communicate. Because if you don't talk, you hide in secrecy. The man called Wike, I don't like him, but he talks. He verbalizes his mind. He tells me it is bad or whether it is good. Whether you like it or not, but you just open up. When a man doesn't talk, there's a danger hidden in it. This governor will start talking. In conclusion, because what happened to him, if you know that someone brought you to power, you must play along with him so that you can govern the state and put your name in a level that you have governed a state. To be a governor of a River State or Lagos State is that governing a state or a nation in Africa. It's a privilege. So the man should play along and let not this thing repeat again for River people to suffer again. The problem there before was the governor who is not communicating. Let him begin to communicate so people understand the right or the wrong. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Although I must comment on what Reverend Dominic said, that the man must play along. I'm a bit uncomfortable with that idiom, because you know, I'm sure he didn't mean it like that. But when we talk about playing along, it could be seen as you are pretending. You're playing along, but you're not really with us. But I think what we need and what is needed in Rivers is that everybody, I think both of you have said,
put all their cards on the table.
Yes, be quite open-minded. So
and
I'm sure Reverend Dominic didn't mean it in the negative sense of playing along.
Then again, when you talk about, say, demand, or demand is not mute. He talks, but he's not loquacious. He's not somebody that is giving to so many.
Who is loquacious?
No, but you know that Minister Wike likes to speak. You know, he calls press conference every time. You know, this man is not. Everybody have their own kind of personality.
Because Chief Oboy has said that anybody who can't speak is not a politician.
No, but there's not necessarily that it must be. I mean, it's not. There's nothing wrong with being expressive.
Yes.
But the governor is a performer. He's not a talker.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a personality type, and there's nothing negative about it. You know, the important thing is that is he delivering dividends of democracy to the people? Is it? And the governor has brought people-focused, people-centric approach to governance, and that's why. See, let me tell you something. If the governor today decides to move to any party, if he says he's going to any party, Rivers people will follow him. Okay. But don't forget, former governor Rotimi Amechi, when he moved to APC, Rivers people refused to follow him. Even Governor Wike, when he moved, well,
no, he hasn't moved.
No, he hasn't moved.
Governor Wike, in fact, I'm going to come to that point. Okay. The man says, I am PDP and nobody can do anything about it.
He's standing at
the
gate.
And I will work for President Tinubu.
Sir, what is there is that, you see, all the assemblymen, 27 of them, have all gone into APC. That was the issue. You know, if the governor today say, look, I will do this, I will work for the president, or I want to go to this, whatever he does, he's now a beautiful bride that both PDP and APC are saying, please stay with us. So say,
you're talking about Governor Fubara.
Yeah, for Governor Fubara.
Fubara.
You know,
okay. Let me come to you again on this whole point. I don't know how you see Chief Okoye. Minister Wike, he's in the PDP. He was appointed by an APC president on his own merit. He has said that he's going to be working for President Tinubu's re-election bid. Rivers has been known as a PDP state. Governor Fubara is a PDP man. Where do you think this leaves it all? And especially bearing in mind what the elder beside me, Mr. Uranta, has just said. Do you see any difficulty in that configuration?
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If we go to the history of Nigeria, the constitutional history of Nigeria, I like talking about history because history tells us, you know, what shaped and influenced events that took place before we were born. And, you know, the trajectory for the future. In 1959, there was an election in Nigeria. The Northern People's Congress, the Action Group, NCNC, and none of the parties were able to command an absolute majority in the federal parliament. So what happened was that the MPC and NCNC struck a deal. They went into a coalition to be able to form the government. You know, there you saw a lot of NCNC figures were appointed ministers in that government of Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Even in 1979, President Shehu Shagari won an election, but his party, MPN, was unable to command absolute majority in the National Assembly, made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And he thought, he was going to have difficulties in pushing his programs of his government, pushing bills, appropriation law, the passage of appropriation law. So he quickly struck a deal, with Nigerian People's Party, NPP. And we saw a lot of people who were appointed. One of them was my uncle, Chief Etang Okoyobuli. He was MPP, but he was appointed as a Minister for Communication, later Minister for Agriculture in Shehu Shagari's government. We also saw it in President Yar'Adua's government, where he appointed AMPP people into his government. Even Obasanjo, President Obasanjo appointed Bola Ige. Bola Ige was in Alliance for Democracy. He was not a PDP figure. He was appointed as Attorney General. So what the president has done with Wike is not strange. I don't know why a lot of people begrudge Wike for accepting to serve in the government. So if the president has seen that Wike is a strong politician, is in control of Rivers State, and he brought him into his government, there's nothing wrong with that. And he has said, look, I'm going to support the president. Because even in America, in the current cabinet of President Trump, as the Kennedy, who is the Secretary of Health, is not a Republican. He comes from the famous Kennedy family, and they are Democrats. For the past 50 or 60 years, the Kennedy family, they have been Democrats. But he broke, with the family tradition and supported President Trump, who is a Republican, and today he's in government.
Okay, so these things can work.
Left the Republican Party.
Okay.
He has left the Democratic Party for the Republican Party. So these things are, politics is dynamic. We'll see all those things, and anybody who is in a different party can be brought into government by the party that wins. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, after politics, after electionary campaign, for all of us have to come together to support whoever emerges as president to move the country forward.
All right. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much, Chief Okoye. I understand that you must get away because of a prior commitment. If I'm reading that right, we're about to let go of you now. Is that okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I just wanted to be very, very sure. I wish we could be together, but we'll manage. We'll manage. But thank you for contributing your insights into this conversation. It has been Chief Okoye Obla, lawyer and public affairs analyst. We appreciate your coming. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, now back in studio here, what would be your take on this question? Is it similar to Chief Okoye Obla's, by which I mean Wike is going to be working for Tinubu, and in Rivers in particular. You were saying something about, look, the electorate is the kind of animal that it is. You never can tell where it is going to be. What do you see? Because here we're dealing with the people. Where are the people? Are the people, because I made the point that in Rivers, it is a PDP state, or it has been seen as a PDP state. But here we have somebody who is very significant, saying that even though I'm PDP myself, I will be working for the opposition. Yes.
You see, for Rivers State has been PDP from 1999. Up until the last local government election, even before this one held by the Solad administrator, where another party, got most of the local government seats. Now, in this very one, out of 23 local governments, 20 went to APC. And you are aware, okay, PDP got 3 seats, 3 local governments, and the 27 local government chairmen, 27 House of Assembly members, they went to APC, and that means they are in APC as we speak. Mm-hmm. So the legislature, the local governments are all APC. Now, what I'm saying is that if the governor, that's why I say the governor is now a beautiful bride. PDP is saying, look, you have always been a PDP person, stay with us. And APC is saying, look, our doors are open, come in and we welcome you. Wherever the governor decided to pitch his tent, Rivers people will follow him.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because of the kind of people-centric or people-focused leadership which has brought to the state, that they will follow him anywhere he goes. So if he decides to, which of course I'm sure he has thanked the president for coming in, intervening, people might say different things. But if the man who is at the in the eye of the storm, if we could say he thanked the president for bringing in the emergency rule, who am I to say otherwise? Because he is the person there. He's one on the saddle. So I think...
and the people who are going to constitute the electorate will take direction from him.
Of course, because they know that he has their interest at heart. You see, this is one about leadership. If someone who is leading, when you have the trust of the people, that you care about them, you care about their welfare, that you are taught. But when he came into governance, he told Rivers people that I will spend Rivers money on Rivers people. And he has shown all through so far that he's doing that. So whenever he tells people, say, this way I'm going, they'll follow him.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it is as straightforward as that, then everybody can heave a sigh of relief. But as you know, the PDP is actually there. I don't know how much of the PDP is left that has not gone to AD yet. Is it AD?
ADC.
ADC. That has not gone to ADC.
You see,
so
ADC in Rivers State, I am not a fan of Mr. Rotimi Amechi. I'm not a fan of his at all. Because, you know, this is a man
but
that
you're a Riverian.
I'm a Rivers man. He's a man that building...
I beg your pardon. Okay. Maazi, first of all, let me start with my apologies. Go ahead now, sir. Sorry for leaving you there. Maazi Okoroafo.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. Yeah, that's Pastor Kapo. Honestly speaking, the governor and Nyesom Wike, honestly speaking, I thank God for the elders. Although, three times, the elders are coming at a very, very, very bad time. But people say, God, God's time is the best. But the thing I want them to know is this. Garden City, Rivers State, High School, is something that belongs to them. Now, if you like, whether you like it or you take it, no matter wherever you go, another state, outside your own state, you only stay there for some time. Nobody is going to take you as the indigenous of that very place. That is to say, do not allow anything that will destroy your own state where you are coming from, where your father and mother is from. That is Nigeria should bear in mind. Because whatever you do, the boomerang effect goes back to you, goes back to your people, that will go back to generations to come. That is why I tell you that very, very careful wherever. But this issue, the indigenous and non-indigenous, is still dancing ground. It's after the Civil War, 1970 up to today. Whether Nigeria like it or not, go and investigate. I'm telling you, as a researcher in this country, a researcher all over worldwide. Because Nigeria has to be very careful. The elders, I will advise them. Let them be at least from time to time make calls for two of them. Say, how are you? The elders that will be there in that the citizens. The elders have a role to play. That is why we have statesmen.
Indeed.
Statesmen are people that when you come advise with. That's when you look at other countries. Let's say at other countries. The past leaders goes back to the young ones. But here in Nigeria, with the elder you see that you can sign one. You are not supposed to sign one. Because you sign one that the other one that is okay, you feel that you provide that you feel comment. So I will advise the elders, whatever you are doing there, let it be balance for Garden City to come back to life, for Garden City to be what Garden City used to be in those days up to now. Okay. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Nigeria. I pray for peace, permanent. Good morning. Happy President Day in Lagos.
Same to you. Thank you very much, Maazi Okoroafo. He's making the point that now that we have seen how all of this has happened, the President Tinubu, unavoidably needed to shock the system in Rivers State, which is what he did. And as sometimes happens, you can shock sense into people. So all the warring parties now knew that, this is not a joke again. Everybody sort of, so now here we have it. But you were just saying that wherever, the leader, indicates that he's aligning with is where they probably will be. You were on that idea when the call came through. I was thinking that I just keep my fingers crossed here. You seem to be saying, don't worry about it. Wherever the leaders want to go is where the people will follow. And you were...
The governor.
I pointed out that there are some remnants of PDP left.
See, you see, before now, when the governor conducted the election, it was APP that won 22 local governments.
Yes.
And if he had gone that way, APP would have produced the next governor in Rivers State. That I can tell you for sure. Because the people believe, you see, human beings are very easy to govern. That's why I say, people who are superintending over the affairs of Nigeria, if they want to get the mumu button of Nigerians, they should think of the people. You see, a leader, what makes you a leader is that people whom you are leading, who you are superintending over their affairs, have come to the point that they believe that you care about them. And if you care about them, you'll be doing things that will touch them in their hearts, of hearts. Yeah. So they'll be easy to be led. But when they discover any perception that you are not bothered about them, their welfare, they will become very, very strong-headed.
Okay.
So Rivers State
is on course.
It's on course.
Rivers State is on course.
So that's why we're appealing that everybody, all parties should please sheathe their sword. Let us keep on suing for peace so that we can get development, because we have lost 6 months as it's doing. But I also stated that 6 months, the Nigerian state will give it back to us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nigeria will give it back to the good people of Rivers State.
That means there's not going to be election in Rivers State in 2027. To have our 6 months, it's going to be another type of off-cycle election.
Okay. I can't comment on that one.
No.
But it's an idea you have floated.
Yes.
But thank you very much, Mr. Somi Uranta, author and political affairs analyst. And we also extend our thanks to Chief Okoye Bono Obla, a lawyer and a public affairs analyst who was with us, earlier on the program. We're going to have to leave it here, but do please come in and join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari.